First of all, Gateway recognized this gap a long time ago because the statistics are clear. If I can have the final slide that we asked to have presented, if that comes up on screen, we'll point that out. Clearly, 80% of the students that enter the college system are not prepared for college.
80%?
80% plus. So clearly 80% are not prepared, and what happens is that means that we need to put into place remedial programs and the rest and get them up to speed so that they can satisfy the needs of the manufacturing industries that are fairly sophisticated. Now, we have not only...
So that says a trend of the student profile?
That if you read the details in there, you'll see that 80% is documented in the rest, and that we have a Center for Educational Services that helps with that. But we also have raised funds independently of State of Connecticut taxpayers to put together several programs. One of the programs we put together was a college readiness program, which was called a pre-accuplacer program that was just recently put in place.
Pre-accuplacer?
Yes, and Dean Bizzuto is the one that championed that, and Dr. Kendrick is the one who went out and raised a lot of funds for that.
Before you go on, Mr. John, I just want to make sure that our viewers heard what you said about 80%.
That's correct.
Yes.
Now, are we saying 80% of the students who apply to Gateway, or we're saying, or you have information that says 80% of all students graduating in Connecticut high schools?
We're saying 80% that come to Gateway. The evidence is clear that 80% that come to Gateway are lacking in some set of skills, whether it be math or English.
And they have to do remedial.
That's correct. They need to be reinforced. Some of their skills may have been forgotten. They may have to, how should I say, have refresher courses in the rest.
Forgotten? You mean at 18, 19, 20?
Well, we have an aging. We did at one point, about 6 or 8 years ago, have an average age of 29 and 30, but right now that average age is down to 25 or 26.
And they still need remedial work.
And they still need remedial work, absolutely.
And this is a trend across the state. If we look at Connecticut high school graduates who go on, public high school graduates who go on to college, whether it be 2-year or 4-year, 2/3 of all Connecticut high school graduates need to take either remedial math or remedial English when they get to college.
No, but to answer your question as to what the community colleges have been doing, there's several programs. There's a Tracks to Success program, which was the Metro North program that we put in place. There's a water management program that we're putting in place that also answers those issues. And there's a Pathways program that is a Back to Work Act, which actually, if you have that last slide with President
with Mr.
Blumenthal,
yes,
you'll find that there's $1.5 million that was raised to put money into jobs and the rest. I'd like to mention one other thing that I think is important, and Dr. Sommers has mentioned it in the past in our prior discussions. The ladders that existed before, that existed when sons could go into the jobs that their fathers or their grandfathers had, and they could get on-the-job training, don't exist anymore for the very reasons that Dr. Sommers pointed out. Okay? So what has to happen as part of the resolution of this problem, not only do we need to teach them English and math and the rest, but we need to create those ladders again in the new manufacturing environments so that these young people can move forward and they can make an honest living and the rest. The second part of the equation that is really stifling us is that a person will graduate from UConn or Southern or Northwestern or Eastern University, and they find that they can't afford to live in Connecticut. So what will happen is you'll find, if you do the statistics, that those people graduating from either the community college, well, not so much the community college system, but certainly the university system, they find that they can take their education to Arizona, South Carolina, North Carolina, and they can live and afford a house or a place to raise a family there that they can't really do here in Connecticut. So there's several factors that impact this situation, and I think the state has to become much more friendly for business.